don't know, now you know. You better get yourself in the flow. And if you don't think that you can, you better find Rob Rant. The Rob Rant Show. The Rob Rant Show. And if you don't know, now you know. The Rob Rant Show. The Rob Rant Show. And if you don't know, now you know.
It's the Rob's Rant Show with your host, Rob Bell.
This is Rob Bell. And this is Rob's Rant. Welcome to the Rob's Rant Show. Philadelphia, what are you doing? The homicide rate is close to 360 plus. And it's only it's only November 3rd, the day after the election. I wish it was an election for mayor and you Philadelphians had an opportunity to vote Mayor Kenny out, because obviously he's not doing what he's supposed to do. I wish you had an opportunity to send Commissioner Outlaw packing, because obviously she's not doing what she's supposed to do. Where is the city council? Where is the president of city council and the representatives for the various neighborhoods throughout the city? You hear about all these initiatives and all this money coming into the city, yet and still, every day there continues to be a homicide. You hear about all these initiatives that are supposed to be helping the young people in terms of changing their attitudes about, what they are supposed to be doing, and yet and still, X amount of children are being killed. 12, 13, 14 years old being shot and killed. Children are being killed in front of their parents. Children are being killed in front of their educational institutions. Children are being killed coming home from work. And it's unfathomable that a high rate of young people in the city as large as Philadelphia is being killed, and all the brilliant minds that we are supposed to have in the city have not to date come up with any solutions as to how to squash this violence. What is going on? Mayor Kenny, you need help. You need the federal government and the government in the state to step in and declare Philadelphia a state of emergency. And I don't know why you are so resistant to that. I kind of think I know, because your reputation is on the line and you don't want to be the first city in the United States that because of violence has to declare a state of emergency. Well, I think you need to ratchet your ego down and look at your political career and think of the people who put you in political office, the citizens of Philadelphia, and think about them and declare Philadelphia a state of emergency. You took an unprecedented step to have your police force not get involved in any traffic stops for minor violations, which I think is ridiculous, because a lot of those minor violations will yield the criminals that you're going after and yield some of the guns and the drugs that you're going after under those minor traffic violations, but yet and still, you want to stop them. And so the beat goes on when it comes to violence in the city of Philadelphia, and I just don't understand what the thinking behind that is. I think I do, but that's, I guess, for another day and another rant. But nevertheless, it's not going to make a huge dent in stopping the violence, if it's at all intended to do that in the first place. Now, could it be that the powers to be are not doing anything about the violence and are turning their back to the violence because it's not attached to any monetary significance? Because the way the world is today, if it ain't about money, then people really don't want to deal with that. The only way that this is about money is through the criminal justice system with the judges and the police and the correctional officers and the juvenile detention facilities, and all that money that's coming into the city probably going in those areas and not doing anything about squashing the violence that's going on in the city. And I've always called that poverty pimping, where you're taking advantage of an impoverished situation and impoverished neighborhoods and violence that's occurring and generating money because of that. And that money is being funneled in other directions and not giving the people in the neighborhoods an opportunity to do what they need to do to try to help solve the violence. Or you can look at it this way: the people in the neighborhood don't want to stop the violence because they can care less. They have this apathetic attitude about what happens in their respective neighborhoods, and they said it's been like that forever, so what's the damn difference? You know, catch me if you can. Today is not me, and so I'm cool with that. Tomorrow is somebody else, and I don't have to be bothered with it. And when it catches up with me, I'm the one that's going to cry at the podium and tell people, oh my God, I didn't think it was going to happen to me. Well, that's a horrible attitude to have. And it seems that most people in the city have that. So I cast blame on everybody. I cast the blame on the mayor. I cast the blame on the district attorney. I cast the blame on the police commissioner. I cast the blame on city council. And I cast the blame on the citizens that live in the communities in which this violence is being perpetrated, and the citizens that are being affected. It's ridiculous. I can't believe that, you know, since January, here it is November, almost at the close of the year, and we're pounding on this 499 number that we had last year, and even may surpass that. And we have not yet to come up with any solutions as to how we can shut this down. I've tried to come up with a few ideas in terms of taking two-man police cars out of the district and making those cars one-man cars. And so instead of having 22-man cars, you have 40 one-man car. And that will cover a larger area in your respective district, and hopefully get police officers to be a bit more proactive to help look for things and be, again, proactive and stop things before they happen. It's one of my ideas. The other idea is for me to call for citizens to protest and declare and ask the mayor to declare for an emergency situation in the city of Philadelphia the Saturday after Black Friday, and march on City Hall in the same way that they marched on Washington, in the same way that we had the Million Man March on Washington, and insist that our city government do something about this instead of being apathetic and laid back about, you know, taking the violence that's occurring in your community. Those are a few of my solutions. They may be pie in the sky. They may be outside of the box. They may be solutions that people don't even want to consider, but they're solutions nevertheless, or at least an attempt to a solution. And nobody wants to listen to that, you know, because I'm just Rob, and this is Rob's rant. And, you know, who the hell am I? Unless I have a politician moniker behind my name, unless I have a superstar moniker beside my name, unless I'm a person of significance, nobody really wants to listen to that. And even if I did, politicians who do have those monikers beside their names are scaredy cats and are afraid to think outside of the box because they think their political career may be affected. And so they don't want to do anything to try to do something different, because they think later on down the line, when people don't like that, when it comes to people to vote for them again, they're not going to get the votes, and they're not going to get the support from either Washington or the state of Pennsylvania. And so they sit back and they sit on their hands and they don't do a damn thing about what's going on in the city. Meanwhile, women are getting raped on trains, kids are being shot outside of schools, kids are being shot coming home from work. and the beat goes on. Somebody's got to do something about some of this crap that's going on. And unless somebody steps up to the plate and starts thinking outside of the box and starts doing things that are a little different than they've done in the past and get away from the same old, Philadelphia is going to be looked at as a lawless town and a town that nobody wants to even come to. I tell you what, when big business stops wanting to come to Philadelphia and spend their money and do business there, I bet you they'll start looking up then. When you start to lose residents in the city of Philadelphia and you drop from the 6th largest city in the United States to the 7th largest city in the United States, I bet you'll start looking at the situation then. I bet you when it starts to bleed over into the suburbs and people start getting murked and killed and robbed and stabbed and raped, I bet you'll look at the situation then. But until now, because it's only happening in the black community, nobody gives a rat's ass about what happens to us. And they always say we cry racism. Yeah, we do. And in this situation, I gotta say, it seems awfully connected or familiar to the fact that we as black people are being stomped on and set on, and nobody cares about what happens to us. Think about that. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rants.